So Paul, usually we're sat here talking about the weekend's game, but this weekend, Black Saturday with you, have you been non-stop on the phone or has it been a relaxing weekend for you?
A bit of both, to be honest. It was going to be a relaxing weekend, but you know, with the rumour mill's in full force. You know, we've been looking to try and strengthen the squad. So yeah, it's a bit of both, to be honest. Trying to put my feet up in certain areas, and but yeah, still trying to strengthen the squad.
How close are you to those additions?
How long's a piece of string at the minute? You know, one stage I thought was really close, but obviously, you know, good players, you know, are sought after. So you know, we've got a battle on with quite a few other clubs. So at this minute, it's 50-50 about you know the signings we've inquired about.
Last week, of course, 2 friendly games against Northampton and Nottingham Forest. What particularly pleased you about those games, and who particularly stood out for you?
What pleased me was the opposition we played against was very, very strong, and these sort of games we needed real competitive football. What pleased me more than anything was that we got one or two of our players that have been away with injury. Some real good competitive football. As well as that, when I look at 1 or 2 trialists, but yeah, I mean, both games were absolutely fabulous for us, and you know, I can't thank the 2 clubs enough for giving us a game.
Tonight it's going to be pretty much the same thing. This time an open to the public game against your former club, Eastwood Town. Looking forward to going back there tonight. Absolutely.
You know, it's I still have an affinity with the place. I pop down there for the Gainsborough game, and you know, the management team in there, you know, I've worked closely with in the past. So you know, they're working hard to try and get the club you know, out of the relegation places. And speaking to John, speaking to Coops, you know, we needed another game to get people like Tomo and Restay some games under the belt, and John and Coop said they could accommodate us. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going back. I don't know how sort of strong both sides will be tonight, but should be nice to go back.
What kind of a test do you think it will prove for you tonight?
Well, it's a proper non-league game. I think that first and foremost, when we've played against league clubs, you get a different kind of game. You know, we played Doncaster Rovers now, we played Forest the other day, and Northampton. We're all technically, you know, gifted players you're coming up against. The games are probably a little bit slower though. You know, tonight I think it'll be quick. It'll give our players a proper non-league game in a proper non-league environment. So it'll be something we want to get something out of.
You mentioned there John Thompson, of course, Restay. Who else do you think is going to be involved tonight? Is it going to be fringe players, or is it going to be those that you've got in mind for Saturday?
Well, a bit of both. You know, I want you know, people tonight, like they have done in the last 2 games, to make me pick them on Saturday. You know, we're going into a very important part of the season where, you know, our desire levels and the way we apply ourselves has got to be really good. Now, in these games, people might look at these games, and some footballers might look at these games and saying these are non-entity as a football match. But I see them as a massive point to prove to me in terms of staking their claims for a first team place. You know, it's you know, players, you know, they're not stupid players. They know I'm trying to strengthen the squad. You know, for that to happen, there might have to be 1 or 2 that leave the club. So, you know, I always think that it's a football match. You know, and whoever plays tonight has got to get something out of it.
Is that what, like, the last week and of course this week is going to be about then? Of course, you wiping the team sheet clean and you just saying to players, go out there and get your name on there, fresh start for all.
Yeah, I think the mini break, I'm hoping will do us the world of good. You know, it's given me time to evaluate, you know, where we're heading. You know, I need to evaluate who's gonna get us back into a position where we want to be. To do that, you know, the way we apply ourselves as a club has got to improve. It's as simple as that. You know, all these behind closed doors games, you know, are good tests for us because, you know, the players that don't necessarily want to play in these games might not want to play on a cold, wet Tuesday night somewhere like Bath. You know, It's not being disrespectful to Bath at all. But our mindset, I think, has wavered a little bit over the last few weeks. And, you know, by hook or crook, I've got to get that back to how it was. Now, whether that means, you know, the whole squad having a jolt, whether that means new players coming in, whether that means that, you know, players that have been sat on the bench or in the stand for the last couple of weeks, they come in. It doesn't faze me, it doesn't worry me at all. You know, my thing is to put a side out there on the pitch. It gets back to the standards of the Newport games. You know, the Darlingtons away, the ones where we've won games, not just by playing well, but by our desire levels and the way we've applied ourselves.
Of course, Ben Futcher went back to Bury last week, and we said on Thursday it was mentioned that John Thompson had a minor setback. First of all, is he closer to a comeback, or will there perhaps be one or two trialists tonight looking to fill that gap on Saturday?
Answer to your question is yes to both. Hoping Tomo will be fit for tonight and will put himself in contention. You know, he's been a little bit unlucky, Tomo, and looking back, you got to feel a little bit sorry for the lad, because, you know, he picked up the injury pre-season. He's had one or two little niggles since then, and then he's in the best form that I've seen him at since he's been at the club in training and behind closed doors games, and then he picks up a slight knee injury. So, but hopefully he'll be fit for tonight. You know, it'll be a massive lift for us because he's not pulled on a first team shirt this season. But obviously there might be one or two trialists on show tonight as well that can showcase themselves, that can force their way into my thinking and earn themselves a deal here.
Are we looking at centre halves, or are we looking somewhere else or around?
All over the pitch. You know, I'm going to be sort of like, probably tonight, probably not use as many trialists as I have done in the last couple of games, but there might be one or two on show tonight.
Cheers, Paul.
With regard to Tomo, you say if he plays tonight, be in contention, presumably you mean as soon as the weekend, is that possible?
It could be, Matt, yeah. It's, you know, it's been a tough one with Tomo. You know, this game's a selfish business, and I try not to be selfish sometimes, Matt, because it can be a very unforgiving place if you chuck someone back into the fold and they're not 100% right then, and because we're all judged very, 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 very easily. Now with Tomo, his playing ability and you know, everything about him is we know what we get, but sometimes you've got to wrap people up in cotton wool, and you've got to put them in when they're 100% ready. Otherwise, it can have a detrimental effect, not just the player, but the team, the club, and how people perceive that person. So we've got to be, you know, if he comes through tonight, you know, it's all about me speaking to Tomo, and it's both understanding that he's 100% ready, physically and mentally, to get back in the fold.
Yeah. What about Reece? Is he close? Because I mean,
Reece picked up an ankle injury once again. I mean, it's
Reece on Thursday.
Yeah, on Thursday. You know, I mean, he played the 90 minutes, but you know, he went over on his ankle. He's another one today that's he's in the treatment room. Probably 50-50 to play tonight, but you know, if he's right to play tonight, then he'll have a good run out, because he's been coming on leaps and bounds. Reece has.
Forgive me if I missed this last week, but any sort of word on the Green thing? Because I think you said you were quite close.
Yeah, well, it's the whole thing is now is just sitting down with Matt and agreeing personal terms. I think we're sort of 80% there. The chairman had a meeting with Matt. And certain things were thrashed out. I think it's, you know, myself or the chairman or both of us just got to sit down with Matt's representative and iron out some of the finer details on that. But I'd like to think that the Matt Green sort of deal, you know, could be done sooner rather than later.
How's Louis Briscoe coming on?
A lot better, feeling a lot less, you know, discomfort. He could be sort of, I'm hoping, sort of 2-3 weeks away from getting back into training, but it's a real sort of strange injury, you know, that he's got, and we've got to make sure that Briss is, you know, 100% when he comes back into training. You know, it's it's been awful, some of the injuries we've had. You know, when you think about, you know, like out and out goal scorers, you think of, I know Stevenson didn't start the season, but then broke his metatarsal. He'll be playing tonight. Just trying to get some more games under his belt. Briscoe, you know, we've missed, as I would call it, match winners sometimes. And but every club has them. Every club has injuries, and you know, we've just got to soldier on now and hopefully try and get some of our, you know, our players back on the field.
Yeah. I know you said with regards to Tom Naylor, if the deal was agreed, and obviously now it has been, that you'd be speaking to the chairman about sort of the funds and that. Have you spoken to him about that?
No, if I'm honest, Matt, I've not actually sat down with the chairman and spoke about that. What I've tried to do is highlight people. I've tried to prepare. Obviously, the Naylor deal, you know, the dots haven't been, the I's haven't been dotted and the T's haven't been crossed yet. So we're hoping to finalise that over the next sort of day or so. You know, if that does go through, I've been busy out there trying to find players that we can strengthen the squad with, you know, either on loan with a view to permanent in January. But yeah, I mean, I just need to sit down with the chairman and speak, you know, one-to-one with him just regarding finances, etc. Just to make sure that, you know, I'm not overstepping any mark or being preconceptual about what might happen. You know what I mean? And see, I've just got to be right with the club and the chairman.